Hey guys, I'm Nick and welcome back to Sci-Finatics. Or if you happen to be new here, please don't forget to click that big subscribe button to stay up to date with all the latest Star Trek news on YouTube. So today we've had a little bit of a glimpse at the opening title sequence for Star Trek Prodigy. Michael Giacchino, amazing composer, love his work. He was responsible for composing the themes for the J.J. Abrams Star Trek films, 2009 and Into Darkness and Star Trek Beyond, amongst other multi-award winning music and film scores. Has composed the theme for Star Trek Prodigy. And we've got a look at the opening title sequence. They haven't put the names and the titles text into the opening title sequence yet, but we have the theme for Prodigy and we have the background graphics. And I've got to say, they look amazing. Score, theme, sounds amazing. Now, unfortunately, I can't play the theme because if I play music in any of my videos, I get a copyright claim from CBS and Paramount. But we're going to have a look at some of the visuals from the opening title sequence, and I'll see if we can squeeze in a couple little clips of music here and there to give you a bit of a taste as to what the theme for Prodigy sounds like. But I'm also going to link in the description below the link for the full trailer so you can watch that in your own time to check that out. So for starters, in terms of the visuals for the opening title sequence for Prodigy, they look gorgeous. Any one of these frames could be a glorious computer desktop background. They're some of the best looking nebulas and star fields that I've kind of seen in almost any Star Trek show. I really think Prodigy is going to be an absolutely beautiful looking show. And the opening title sequence reminds me a lot of the Voyager opening title sequence, where we had a lot of those beautiful flyby shots of Voyager going through nebulas and going through planetary rings and all this sort of stuff, which just looked great. And Prodigy has definitely taken a page out of the Voyager handbook for opening title sequence inspiration. We have the hero ship, the USS Protostar, flying through the galaxy, through beautiful nebulas and asteroid fields and star fields and planetary rings and all this sort of thing, which gives us a really glorious look at this new hero starship for the series. And in kind of an abstract kind of way, we also get each character kind of worked into those star fields. So we've got Roktak and Dal, and we see Janeway there. All of the other characters all worked into the graphics for the planets and the asteroids in a subtle way. Every character is represented that we see the USS Protostar traveling through the galaxy in the Delta Quadrant. We get a few really good looks at the Protostar, much more than we ever have before in the previous trailer. So we get a really good sense of this ship now. In terms of its size, I'm going to say it seems like it's kind of a similar size ship to, say, the Defiant. It's kind of like a scaled down version of a normal Federation starship with the whole, two warp nacelles with a main deflector dish and a saucer section. Its saucer section is kind of a bit more of a Voyager reminiscent shape, so rather than being oval shaped or round, it's kind of a little bit more like an arrowhead kind of configuration. And much like the Voyager, we also see that when the Protostar goes to warp, there is a certain articulation or animation with the nacelles, much like Voyager had. When Voyager went to warp, we saw the nacelles kind of fold up before it went to warp. And the Protostar has a similar animation going on, but this time there's also a part at the back of the engineering section of the hull, which kind of expands out and opens up to kind of create what seems like almost like a third nacelle. Maybe the Protostar is going to be capable of much higher warp speeds, perhaps. Maybe it can maintain a top speed of warp 9.9 for much longer periods of time. We obviously saw with some of the other Federation starships, they could maintain a speed of warp 9 and get pretty close to warp 9.9, but would only be able to maintain that speed for a short period of time before the engines, risked burning out. So maybe the Protostar, being a new prototype ship with this extra kind of warp nacelle coming out of the back of the engineering section of the hull, will be able to travel much faster for longer periods of time. Michael Giacchino theme for Prodigy. Look, I gotta say, I love it. Love Michael Giacchino. He's an amazing composer. He's one of my favorite composers for film scores. I'm a bit of a film score fan myself. Back in the 80s and 90s, we had Star Trek themes being composed by Jerry Goldsmith, who did the iconic theme for the Star Trek The Motion Picture, which then went on to be the theme for The Next Generation. Jerry Goldsmith come back again, I think did the theme for Voyager. I really got to say that this theme for Prodigy is my my new favourite Star Trek theme. I love it. Love it more than Picard's theme. Love it more than Discovery's theme. No offence to Jeff Russo, who does Picard and Discovery, but Giacchino is just another step above. His theme is memorable. It's awe-inspiring. It's got gravitas. It's what you want in a Star Trek theme. Now, even though Michael Giacchino has done the musical score for the theme for Star Trek Prodigy, he isn't doing the actual scoring for each episode. That's being done by a young composer by the name of Nami Melimard, who is Israeli Dutch. And apparently she has been a bit of a protege of Michael Giacchino's. She's collaborated with him on a number of other projects. We know that Michael Giacchino did the music for Ephraim and Dot, one of the Star Trek short treks. And I believe Nami Melimard did the score for the short trek episode Q&A. And my memory of the score for the Q&A Star Trek short film was pretty good. So I think we're in for some great music for this new Star Trek series. Everything I'm kind of learning about bit by bit for Star Trek Prodigy is giving me a lot of confidence in this show. I know a lot of people out there going, I'm not interested in animation, I'm not interested in Prodigy because it's going to be a kids show. But I gotta say, with the music score, with the visual style of Prodigy, I really think that the Prodigy is going to do for Star Trek what the Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels did for the Star Wars franchise. I think there's a good potential we're going to get a really nice show out of Prodigy, and I can't wait for it to start. So what do you guys think about this new score for Star Trek Prodigy? And the visuals, all the glorious visuals for the opening title sequence. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Don't forget to give a super thanks if you're able to, that little heart with a $ in it just below the video window. If you're able to, it really helps support the channel. And also don't forget to check out my merchandise in the merchandise store, link in the description below, or check out the memberships page by clicking that big join button to learn about becoming a Sci-Finatics member. Guys, I'll be back tomorrow with my review of episode 4 for Star Trek Lower Decks. I'll catch you then. See you soon.